page of bounce back. Course overview, preview available. Having made it for this briefing, yeah, it's fabulous to have a team which has a lot of people who have been judges and chief judges, at least for over a decade. At least some people are even above a decade having judge contests. Things have not changed, at least for the last 10 years, which I have seen in judging, in terms of the rules, regulations, the ballots, the forms which we use. Those things have not changed. It's only that from a physical environment, we have moved into a virtual environment. And even today, districts are given a choice of selecting 4 out of the 5 or 6 contests which Toastmasters International recognizes. So our district has always stuck to these 4, which is international, evaluation, humorous, and table topics, leaving aside the tall tales contest, which is also recognized by TMI. So the 4 contests you are judging, I hope all of you are going to be there for all the 4 contests. And as I said, since most of you have judged and been chief judge, it's imperative for me to only talk to you about the most important points we need to be careful about, rather than talking about each speaker, how you judge, what you need to do. I will not dwell into that part. First and foremost, which we need to make sure is we have a good internet connection. So just make sure that if we are supposed to log in, I think the contest begins at 9 a month.
8:40 is the call to order. The international contest will start at 9.
9.
First 20 minutes introduction.
I hope if in case you're not able to join at call to order, I hope all of you will be online by 8:45. So at least 15 minutes before the contest, so that, and the moment, please remember that the moment you come in, kindly on the judges WhatsApp group, just put in a sentence, I am in, because I know you people will be there, but I need to have a count of judges, number 1. And secondly, I need to appoint a tiebreaker judge. And I normally do different tiebreaker judges for different contests. We don't need to tax one person to be the tiebreaker for all the 4. So that people need not worry about if there are 10 speakers, then it's going to be a problem for the tiebreaker. So things you need to remember is when you get in at 8:45, make sure that your internet connection is fine. Your audio, at least for the first 15 minutes, is okay. And your video is on until the contest begins. Once the contest begins, you can basically switch off your video, your audio, all mute. You don't even need to have anything, even profile picture if you want to have, it's up to you. You don't need to name yourself as judges. Okay, just keep your name as it is, because we know who the judges are. If we have to be anonymous, then if you put judge 1, judge 2, then they know who it is. So it's better you don't name yourself. Keep yourself as the names which your parents have given to you. Let it continue, whether it is half name, full name, I leave it to you. Yeah, so don't change it into judges. Second thing which you need to remember is, if in case you have a problem with the internet connection, remember this is a virtual contest. So more importance and specialization is given for the audio. So if the video is disconnected for the speaker, don't worry too much. If the audio is disconnected, you need to worry. So you need to listen to the speaker. So if in case you're disconnected for 10, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and you can come back and catch what is happening, that is up to you. But if you feel that you got disconnected and you missed the crucial part of the speech, or you missed around 1 minute of the speech and you can't get back, please send me a message immediately saying that because of your internet connection, you have dropped out. And that particular contest, you're not going to judge again, because it's going to be unfair that you did not listen to one speaker and you're judging the remaining speakers. So make sure that you come out of that contest and relax and wait for the next contest to begin. Don't drop out of the entire contest, all the 4 contests, please. It's only that particular contest, and try to get back to the good connection. The third thing which you need to remember is, what if the speaker disconnects? And that is what Hemant and I were speaking about now. In table topics and evaluation, please note that if the speaker gets disconnected after the minimum time is done. So if the table topic speaker has spoken for 1 minute or more than 1 minute, and evaluator has spoken for 2 minutes or more than 2 minutes, and they get disconnected, we are judging the whatever is the minimum which has been spoken. The speaker is not going to join back. Remember this very, very much. If they have done the minimum, then they don't get a chance to come back. If they have not done the minimum, then they get a chance to come back, which is maximum 1 minute. So if somebody in table topic has spoken for 30 seconds and had got disconnected, we give them 1 minute. So they come back at the end of 1.5 minutes. After that, they can speak up to maximum 3 minutes in total. That means we give them only 30 seconds additional. So the timer is the one who is going to cut off at a particular time, and the timer is going to make sure that it gives the maximum 30 seconds additional. We don't need to worry. What we need to think of is, okay, he got connected before 1 minute, so I need to wait for him to come back so that I can judge. So remember that. But if the green has already come, then there is no question of him coming back or this thing. Okay. In humorous and international speech, we give them 2 minutes. Now, in all these contests, remember that at the time when the name is called and they are not able to come in, they can come in as the next speaker. That is the only chance. So in table topics, they get disconnected even before they start. Then they have a chance to come in as the next speaker. So they get that 2 minutes. But in table topics, we are not going to give them the chance because they would have listened to the topic already. So in table topics, if they don't get in the 1 minute, they are off. In the evaluation, if they can't start at all, then they can come back as the next speaker. It's the same in humorous and in international. Only table topics, they are completely out. All right. So the last choice is the next speaker. If they can't get it rectified before the speaker finishes, then they are not eligible to participate. They are out, disqualified. In international and humorous speech, they get 2 minutes to come back. And in the 2 minutes, they can come back and start from the point where they have actually let off, where they have stopped. Is the chief judge's responsibility, which means right from 9 o'clock till the time Hemant asks me to be awake, I need to make sure that I listen to every speech. And if somebody disconnects, I need to remember the last sentence or the last word spoken. Now I'm a human being. So that is why all of you are here. So I'm requesting you that in international and in humorous speech, if I miss out, kindly make sure that you correct me, or in the WhatsApp, you just send me a message saying, Mr. Balaji, this is the last line he has spoken. So at least I won't miss, you won't miss, nobody will miss. And the speaker will start from where he or she has stopped. Okay, so this is the third part. You don't need to worry about timings. There is a timer who is there and the timers have already been briefed, but you need to remember that the speaker will be coming back. So you can't judge whatever you have spoken till now. So you need to wait for the speaker to come back. The fourth one, which I normally have told every contest, is 1 minute is for the judges to mark the ballots after every speaker. But at the end of each contest, they don't need to restrict it to 3 minutes. And they don't need to move us into a breakout room. Okay, you guys will actually send it to me on WhatsApp. So it doesn't make a difference. They can continue what they are doing and you can judge it from your home. You put your thing on my mute and you start marking it and send it to me. It can become 3 minutes. It can become 5 minutes also sometimes because it's a division contest. Now contestants, it gets tougher as you move forward. So you also might be having difficulty in judging the contest. So you have enough time and I will follow up on your judges sheet which needs to come. Next one you need to remember is how do I send the ballot papers? It's very simple. You have the judges sheet. You can take a picture of the judges sheet, but please make sure that you have entered your name. And if in case you have electronic signature, please sign on it. If you don't have electronic signature and you are using a paper to mark, you can sign on it. But while sending it to me as well as 2 ballot counters, remember, you need to send it to 3 people. This is a division contest. And in a division contest, the rules are tough because if somebody complains to Toastmasters International that there was only 1 ballot counter in the entire contest which has had, then the contest, Toastmasters might even take a decision of reconducting the contest. So be careful. So you have 3 officials who should get the ballot counter, which is 2 ballot counters and the chief judge. Even if you don't send it to the chief judge, it's fine. The 2 ballot counters have to receive it. The tiebreaker has to send it to the chief judge only. Don't send it to the ballot counters because they will get confused. All right. Send it only to the chief judge, and only the chief judge and the tiebreaker judge will know who is the tiebreaker for the contest. The others will not know who is the tiebreaker I'm not going to post it in the WhatsApp group, nothing like that. It will be one-to-one, and I will be talking to you and asking you to take over as tiebreaker just before the contest begins. So if Hemant is loading the sheets for judging and tiebreaker both in the WhatsApp group, be ready which one you need to use. If I suddenly say that you're the tiebreaker, pick up the tiebreaker form and start judging on that. Is that pretty clear for all of you? Okay. Now, protests in terms of the contest at division level. Eligibility, judges, it's up to you. What you need to look at is, I think judges will not know whether the person is a good standing member or not. But judges will know whether this person has contested somewhere else at an area level or division level. Please remember this. Eligibility means that a contestant can participate from an area level only in one particular area and move ahead only in that particular area or division. If in the international speech somebody has participated probably in India in an area contest, and then they are participating here in Dubai in a division contest, you people who have seen the contest or judged the contest, if you have evidence, you have the right to come back and protest. And if we have the proof that the person has participated in an area in probably district 121, we are going to disqualify them here. We don't want them to face the situation at probably international level when they are participating at the international public speaking contest to get disqualified because they participated sometime twice in 2 areas. So just make sure that in eligibility, you have the right to tell me that you have noticed them in an area or division contest somewhere else. In terms of originality, 25% of the speech can be borrowed, but the borrowed material have to be referenced. 1 second, hold on, please. Yeah, in terms of originality, it has to be referenced. Now, you as judges find that 25% or more has been spoken. And if you have doubt, please raise a protest. But for originality, when you're raising a protest, you need to have evidence to prove it to the chief judge. So if you find that this 25% has been borrowed from a speech which you've already seen or you already have, you need to send me the evidence. If you don't send me the evidence, there is no way I will even accept the protest. Because if I have to call the contestant and speak to the person, then I need to have ample proof first that this has happened. Okay. Second thing is, if in case they have not referenced, it is less than 25% and they have not referenced there, even then you have a right to protest. And in that case, we can always say, yes, the speech was borrowed. You borrowed only less than 25%, but you should have referenced it. That is one. The last part which has come in this year is they cannot use material or anything about the previous speaker. So if you find a speaker number 2 has spoken about speaker number 1 or the content of speaker number 1, you have a right to protest. Remember that all these protests have to be sent to me one-to-one. And the moment you send it one-to-one to me, I will acknowledge it, number 1. And if I have to speak to you, I will actually discuss with you what is the protest, why are you protesting. After that, if I feel that the protest is valid, I will tell you the protest is valid. And then only we will take to the further questioning of the contestant or discussion with judges and all that stuff. All right. If the protest is valid, please be ready that I might call all the judges into a breakout room to discuss. Because all the judges will have to vote eventually whether the protest has to be upheld or the protest has to be left out. Okay, so be ready that if in case there is a protest on originality, you might be called into a breakout room to vote. Now, this is in terms of protest. Last but not the least, your judges' forms. We have 4 contests, so you make sure that you have the right form with you. You sign and you actually put your name, because if you don't do that, it becomes invalid. In an electronic version, even if you write your name in the signature column, that is fine for me, which means you don't know how to sign electronically. but you put your name in two places. That is fine. I will take it as signature. Okay. When you communicate the results to me, only the bottom portion of your sheet is required to me. Okay. Or you can even send the results to me on WhatsApp. If you're a normal voting judge, you can send to me saying position 1, position 2, position 3. Or you just take a picture of the bottom portion of your voting slip and send it to me. Under no circumstance, you're going to share your judge's sheet with me. Please don't share it. If you share it, I will delete it. And I will ask you to send the results to me again. Because I don't want to see what you voted for, whom you voted for. If you have two people in the same score, it is up to you to decide what you need to do and who is better. And you give me the result. Under no circumstance from a voting judge, I require more than 3 winners. Don't put 4 winners and send me the sheet. I will again send it back to you. It happens. Please don't smile. It happens even today. There are people who send, I don't know, sir, both of them are at the same score. So I put all the 4 people. Come on, guys. I can't take that. You are the decision maker. All right. These are things which have happened even this year. I'm not joking around with you. It was happening earlier, fine. But you will be amazed that it happens this year also in 2022. All right. For a tiebreaker, it is all the contestants in order which you're going to give to me. Don't write the scores. You just write 1, 2, name 1, 2, 3, 4 and the names and send it to me. That is fine. Because in one of the contests, I noticed that they not only wrote the 8 names, next to the 8 names, they also wrote the percentage of scores they got. I don't need that. All right. Because if you have 2 people having the same percentage and you put 4 and 5, then I will be confused. Who is 4, who is 5? So better don't put percentage. I will go by the order which you give me. Okay. In the ballots, table topic contest, very clearly, you have differentiating parts. In all the 4 contests, you have content is king. Remember that. But in table topics, it's more of how they actually grasp the topic. Are they speaking on the topic or are they speaking on half the topic? Yeah. Language is not something where a speaker should win in table topic. Remember this. There are lots of times when you are not speaking pure English and people think that you're not speaking on the topic. No, you're going to listen to the speaker. And even if the speaker doesn't have very good English command of the language, they still speak on the topic. You need to score based on the content. And if you want to score them down in language, that is fine. But that's not the basis for a speaker to be losing. It is more importantly the content, because you're getting 50 to 55% of the marks in terms of logic, understanding the topic, organizing the topic. So make sure that you score at the top level. In terms of humorous speech, earlier we used to say there are people whom we plant in the audience for laughter. Okay. Now, even if they're planned, we will not know because it's a virtual contest. And how do you know the audience response? I don't know because nobody switches on the camera. If they are laughing also, their audios are all switched off. So I will not know what's the audience response. So a judge has to put himself or herself in the place of an audience. So if you are listening to a humorous speech and you feel that that particular area or that particular speech brought laughter into you, brought smile into you, you score the audience response based on what you have heard. So you're acting as 2 different hats which you're wearing, a judge as well as an audience. In the international speech, the value of the speech to the audience is the utmost importance. They might have had a beautiful speech. They might have had a wonderful English language. But if there is no value to the audience as to why I need to listen to that speech, then I don't think that person should be the winner. Okay, so that is what you need to decide. There are 2 different columns for value of speech in the voting ballot. Please make sure that you read that carefully and then you start scoring. Do not worry about the 1 minute because that 1 minute is given to you, and in that 1 minute, you can score that particular person. If you can't total, don't worry, you can always total in the end. So don't take yourself the strain of writing, totaling, and then thinking the next speaker has already started, I don't know what to do. The timer is not going to wait for us. If the break of 1 minute is given, at the end of 1 minute, the contest chair will call the next contestant. So just make sure of these things.
DTM Balaji,
I finished my briefing.
Excel, no, if we have an Excel which has a auto sum, which it would help.
I would be doing that. I will
Yeah.
be sharing the Excel, all the 4. I'll also populate the names of the contestant in there, and the auto sum will be there. But just a caution, last October for the debate contest, I did the same thing. I sent the Excel and it did not work for anybody. Till date, I don't know why it did not work, but it did happen. So from my side, I will be sending it.
We'll
As
use
soon
our
as you receive it,
description as
just try it and see and let me know if it's working.
Sure.
Please share the names because I have my editable ones. I use mine. So just please send the names of all the contestants.
Yeah. I will be sending. In the WhatsApp group I've put in, again, I'll put the names and it will be there in the Excel also.
I'm still an old timer. I'm not a millennial kid. So even if you give me an Excel spreadsheet which has an auto total, I will still go and check whether the totals are correct before I send the result. Okay. Technology is something which is one of the best things to happen to the universe. And it's also one of the worst things which can happen to us. Okay. While you're sleeping, you can take the sheet and you suddenly realize, shit man, at 2 o'clock, I gave the wrong results to Balaji. That should not happen. Okay.
In one of the contests, we were given a spreadsheet, and that was for one of the contestant, it was not calculating properly. So we have to be careful with the spreadsheet we are using.
So was that particular contestant had a problem? He was supposed to be disqualified. Maybe Excel knew that he had to be disqualified.
Maybe jinxed. Sometimes there's jinxed.
Chief Judge,
But you use both discretion, using the technology as well as our own discretion as well. We'll combine both and give you the.
Yeah,
Chief
absolutely.
Judge, can
How
I?
do you? Yes, Sujit.
Can I? Yes, couple of things. General, what we have been doing in the last 4-5 contests in the division is in table topics and evaluation. If they drop, the contestant drop the connection, we don't allow them to come back. It's goodbye
Okay.
for them. That is
Oh,
what.
table topics, I agree. Table topics,
and
I agree.
Evaluation also, they need to forego the contest.
Okay, I leave it to that is division director's responsibility. He has to tell us this is the rule and I will follow.
Okay, moving forward, another point. When it comes to international contest, if the contestant touches 4 minutes 30 seconds, and if he drops, there is no way he is going to come back. Yeah?
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So for me, if it drops out at 4:30 and in 30 seconds, if he gets rectified, he can always come back and deliver the speech.
The point is that this is what the yardstick has been set by District 105. So my question, this is a discretion of the division director, I agree. But the point is that, are we taking a different path from the other divisions? Having said that, the reason is that those contestants have gone through that path, and are we giving probably leniency, or are we being more harsh? That's the question.
My question for me as chief judge is, I don't know what District 105 has written. For me, I go by the speech contest guidelines. The only difference which I look at is how is the division and the district speaking about the disconnections. So that is something, if your district our district has already put in rules that this is what all the divisions should follow, it should be standard.
That is what I meant to say. So division director, just have a quick look into that rules and maybe we standardize it.
And just post it on the WhatsApp group. Post it on the WhatsApp group, all of us will follow that.
If you want, I can share it right away in the group. If you want, I do have it on me. I can share it.
Yeah. See, the reason I was talking about these things is because in chief judging, some contests in India, some contests in Europe, some contests in Nepal, they follow different rules. So if somebody gets disconnected at 25 seconds after starting on a table topic and joins after 10 seconds, they're allowing them to come back. Okay.
Yes.
So, but if the district has put in a rule, it's like the district chief judge's rule. So if the district has put a rule, Hemant, then you'll have to follow that.
Okay, I'll just reconfirm this and share it again on the group.
Yes, DTM Sujil is correct. This is District 105 guidelines says that they cannot come back. for the
Table
table
topics.
topic and the evaluation. They are clearly mentioned.
Great. So do that and brief the contestants also, or put it in the contestants group also, that this
Sure.
is District 105 guideline.
Okay.
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 Any
Everything
other
is spelled out.
questions, please?
Yeah, DTM Balaji, this is just to reconfirm that the voting judges will log in with their video and name on and still remain anonymous. That is what you have mentioned. Am I right?
Yeah, you will see you're logging into the contest at 8:45,
Okay.
and your video and audio will be on. Your name will still be Thomas. When the contest
Okay.
starts at 9 o'clock, only your video and audio will be on mute. Your name will continue to be Thomas.
Okay.
District has
100%.
given a frequently asked question for
Come
that also. And it asks that all the judges should rename as judge 1, 2, 3, like that.
That I leave it to you.
Navindu, I let me step in here. That is the most rubbish thing you can do. Sorry to
I-
use that word, but I can tell
I-
you, if by chance, if you open your screen by any chance, you are revealing that you are J1 and you are the judge. I think that is, for me, it is not.
I fully
big
agree
no-no.
with you. Last contest, you only renamed me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was not able to remove my picture.
No, I'm.
Yes.
I have a little different view in terms of the decision about district putting new rules in. I think if there is a rule book from TMI, we should follow the TMI rule book. I don't know how district is deciding that this is right and this is not right. I don't think the
No.
decision.
No, so
Anup, I
That is
think-
why it is called frequently asked question. It's not.
No, I
rule
think,
book.
I think the
No,
speech
if they have
contest,
changed the rule, if there is a rule which is written in the rule book of TMI,
Anup, let me step in here.
I
because-
think the rule says only the voting judges should be anonymous. Now, I don't see any reason whether in right from area contest onwards, if you audio or video is on with the name is on, anybody can just find out whether he is a judge or not. He is still anonymous as long as you don't put J.
100%.
And that is complying to the rule book. But I have seen that this is the first time, rather, I appreciate Balaji for his logical and practical decision, because half a dozen judging I have done during the past couple of months, the first time somebody is telling that, yeah, you can remain as you are. Otherwise, everybody give a J1, J2, JD1, JD2, and it's rubbish.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because see,
I don't know why are we actually following half what the district says and half of the rule book. Either we follow completely the TMI rule book, or
The
we
rule
don't
book
follow
say-
the.
No, no,
The
no,
rule
no,
book
no,
says
no.
only to remain anonymous. It
No,
doesn't
I'm
say
not
that.
talking about the anonymous part of it. I'm talking about all the other changes that have been brought in, like saying that if they drop out and you can't come in.
Anup, that is.
There is nothing mentioned from TMI how to handle the technical side of things, because that is more towards the district. I think these parameters are being set by the district.
yeah, so
Now,
this
there
is just a thing here. What I've seen is that the district guidelines came into play only because a lot of questions were left unanswered by TMI when they came out with their revised rule book. First of all, they were not.
No. Sorry, Hemant Jain. Sorry to say that, because the people who have written these guidelines, they don't know what is TMI. That is why. Okay. Sorry to stand corrected here. The simple reason is they said that a contestant, a role player cannot be a contestant. He cannot contest in any contest if he's a role player in any other contest. Simple reason is that they didn't understand what is an event, what is a contest. There we go. So
Yeah,
there is
we disqualified 2 people on that day also.
yes.
Yeah, so
Based on that.
Anup, in terms of what the district can do, apart from the contest manual which TMI provides, is the district can decide only on the technical disqualifications.
Absolutely.
Basically speaking, a district 105 can put a mandate to all the levels, area and division that in table topics, if in case he has spoken for 1 minute, then take the minimum, he doesn't need to rejoin again. And in table topics, If they don't start at all, then it is disqualified. These guidelines are put by the district. That is why I'm saying in terms of the disqualification part of electronic disconnections, that is what Hemant has to look at. The rest of it, all of you as judges will follow the speech contest guidelines prescribed by TMI. Please remember this, because
Yes.
protest and other things cannot be changed by the district. It is still TMI guidelines which you need to follow. Okay. And if in case there is an objection sometime that you followed district and you didn't follow TMI guideline, I will have to uphold the TMI guideline, not the district guideline. All right, because there's an authorized speech contest manual which has been provided by TMI, so we need to follow that. In terms of Thomas's question of why I said keep the names as it is, I agree, because if you put in the early morning 8:45, you log in. I have not named myself as Judge 1 previous night. My camera will open as Thomas, and a lot of people would have seen Thomas getting in, and then Thomas goes and changes it to J1, then everybody will know Thomas is a judge. Then Thomas is not anonymous. So for me, if you want to maintain that thing as anonymous, you log in as though you're coming to watch the contest, because this is a particular contest in District 105. Anybody can log in at any time. You're coming in as if you're watching the contest, you're putting your name, and if in case you're giving your votes, you're giving it to the chief judge. Nobody knows what you're doing on the screen, and that for me is anonymous.
I fully agree.
Agree. Balaji Sam, I think that point of the TT speaker.
Yeah.
Giving, they need to forego. The simple reason is that if they get disconnected after a minute or so, and if we give them another minute to come back, in that minute, maybe they can think or bring up some new ideas. That is probably the thought process which has gone behind.
You are speaking to a certified fraud examiner, so it's okay.
Yes, that is why I think probably that is the reason.
I leave it to Hemant to look into the district guidelines and follow those guidelines to the hilt.
What happens if even if there is no disconnection, but the speaker pauses for about 30 seconds and then speaks? Is it allowed?
Hemant,
And what is the difference? What is the difference?
Time up. You will lose the time.
No, that's okay. It's as good as you are allowing him. He has lost contact and he is coming back again.
No, but Hemant, have we got that rule very clear? That the moment the topic is given, what is the contest chair rule? Is it saying that you'll have to start within a certain period, or you don't pause for a long time? You had this rule earlier, remember?
It used to be a 10-second thing, and it was always fuzzy.
Yeah.
There was no clear guideline on when you have to start.
The point what I am raising is, like, after he has started the speech, there is a disconnection, and after 10 seconds he starts. Now we are disputing about it. But if he is not disconnected, but he deliberately stops for 10 seconds or 15 seconds and continue his speech, he is still qualified.
Yeah.
So what is the difference?
There's no difference. So, but you still take, as a judge, you take the content which he has spoken only.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't help
True.
Yeah.
So you don't go into a disconnection during the allotted period what is given to him.
Correct. So it doesn't make any difference, but then district has made a rule, so you follow that rule, Hemant. Can't help it in that particular area. TMI doesn't talk about any guidelines for disconnection and all those things.
So in table topics, I think mostly the generally favored is that if disconnected, disqualified, cannot come back, simply because the time people get to think is very limited. And anybody getting disconnected and coming back has a much bigger advantage. And also he will be like, people will be calling him. So he's handling the phone. And of course, lots of ideas can be there. So
just to know that, how do you know that he is disconnected? Like for me, I may see him as a disconnected because my net has broken down for 10 seconds. But
yes,
the speaker, it may not be. So who decides that?
Okay. So for this, we have had this in earlier contests also. So as soon as the judges stop seeing or stop hearing a person, you send a message on the group that I'm not able to hear him or I'm not able to see him. If it is only one person with an internet connection problem, then others will like, oh yeah, it's all normal. But if there are other messages also, then it's a confirmation that more people cannot hear or see the person, because it's a real scenario that one of the judges could be having an internet connection problem, and you suddenly interject saying, oh, we can't hear you. Or even the chief judge who is like, can actually interrupt that, oh, I'm not able to hear. Even the chief judge may have the same problem, a temporary internet connection. So the chief judge will also be looking in the WhatsApp group if there are more people who are not able to hear or see him. Balaji, if you want to add
I
something.
don't want to confuse the judges. I would have said this before we disconnect. From a business continuity point of view, the only two people whom you are going to send message that there is a problem is one is the chief judge, another is Hemant. So if you are not able to hear something, put it on the group over there, okay? Saying I'm not able to hear, and we will certify to you immediately if others are able to hear or not. Hemant is also on the group. The only two of us, we will actually take action if in case the speaker gets disconnected, nobody is able to hear, we will do that. In case the chief judge has an issue, the backup chief judge, it has to be for me, very clearly, it has to be, I leave one of you. Sujil, are you ready to be the backup?
Yes.
Great. So in case something happens with me, yeah, contest continues and Sujil will be your chief judge. So that will be mentioned in the WhatsApp group if something disconnection happens to me. So don't worry about it. Okay. Any more questions? We are past our time. We are into 9:45.
I think we are good to go. We are good to go.
Yeah, if there are no questions, then for those of you who have Friday, Saturday, have a great weekend. For those of you who have Saturday, Sunday, sleep in the office, come back on Saturday, enjoy your weekend. Yeah. And on Sunday, sharp 8:45, please log in. I will not bother which dress you're wearing, how you're sitting. I'm not worried about that. As long as you judge and you send me the results on my paper or on WhatsApp. Is that clear? Okay. Great.
Chief Judge,
Thank you so much. Yes, Chief. Yes,
Judge,
Sujil.
you didn't say anything about the lunch.
The division director is responsible for the contest.
And
Yeah,
the division
he has
director has to say, Sujil.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to
Otherwise,
stress
for the
Hemant.
Otherwise,
No,
you have
if
got
Balaji,
two more, otherwise, Sujil, you have got two more contests where you're the chief judge. Remember?
no,
Forget that now. Okay.
you know what?
Balaji.
If Balaji says something, then Hemant is going to listen to him more attentively.
No,
That
if,
is why.
Balaji, if DTM Balaji is going to provide the lunch, then Sujil, you be ready because you have two lunches to provide now. So we are okay with it. We are perfectly okay with it. No issues at all.
Yeah, but
Hemant, we
in
are going to
reality,
send our address on the group.
yeah, in reality, if you really want to have lunch, I have no problem. Finish the contest and come home. I have no issue. But if you're asking legally who should host, legally it's the division director who should host.
Hemant.
Hemant, that has been the trend, yeah. The division Bs and the division Ls, they have done it.
Yeah, and Stephen is very
We're going to say bye now
silently
itself.
listening.
Hemant is going to disconnect this call now. Leave meeting.
I'm having some audio issues.
Stephen is very silently listening over here. Yeah.
I know
Stephen,
he
are
might
you
be
available?
thinking. I know he might be thinking, why did I have to invite these guys?
Exactly. The wrong judges in this group.
All right.
Judges?
Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Take,
Chalo,
take care.
okay.
Bye bye.
Getting
Bye for now.
late.
Cheers.
Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
good night.
Enjoy your weekend. See you on Sunday. Yeah.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Thank
Bye,
you and good
everybody.
night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Right.